we're good. Finally. Okay. Holy shit.
A lot more crafting currency this time around, which is good.
Yeah, crafting was really
They
needed.
definitely need some bad luck protection there. Although, I don't know about you guys, but I was struggling for runes this time around, like, so much.
Yeah. I mean, I had like
Yep,
30
one
of
of these
the
ones.
attribute ones. The ones that you don't need.
Yeah.
That was a thing that they band-aided into the game because attribute requirements were so high, right? Now they nerfed them. I don't know. They probably should just get rid of those runes or whatever.
Yeah, I think it's okay to have them because there still might be something. Like, it's probably better to have them than not, but I would like severely reduce the drop rate on them because they're still not going to be expensive. Very few people use them.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's like so weighted
But,
towards those instead of resistance in the campaign, right? I couldn't count my res. I ended end game in like 20 res, but then again, I wasn't like super diligent about it.
Yeah,
So-
I had to like stay back and farm a lot because of that.
Did you guys find the ferryman in one of the interlude acts? So,
Wait.
I'm going to take that as a no. There's an NPC in
Say that
the
again?
in one of the interludes, the ferryman. There's an NPC in there, like one of the kind of like a vendor that sells like kind of, I guess, like 10-ish runes, the greater runes for gold. I'm like, that's brilliant. Like, it's game to do that throughout the campaign with like weaker or even like
My chat
weaker or
told me
more
about it,
expensive.
but I never found it.
Yeah, he's by the river on the way to the Elizabeth Bathory house. We're bathing in blood to stay young. There's that couple, the kinky couple, on the way there. Yeah, it's really good. It's like 10 greater runes and like 2k gold each or something. It was like, oh my god, I bought everyone. It's like a lot of these are worth like 5 chaos or something. So this fizz one's worth like 60. Oh my god. Yeah, scam that guy, same. It's really good, but they could stand to do that in more places, I think, like, because that is, and even if they made it like 10 times more expensive, the point is that you can get like the thing that you want, like you can have a little bit more determinism with the rune stuff, which that's supposed to be the problem fixer, right? But it was the only thing that I did feel was missing. Like, I was getting tons of everything else, but even like I was able to suck it out because of the guaranteed artificers that have been added to quests. But the actual runes themselves. Yeah. No.
I'm really curious actually. Do you guys start with Ziggy, but do you guys prefer the runes to the crafting bench? Like, do you feel like it like adequately replaces the crafting bench?
The crafting bench is, if introduced well, probably an easier thing for people to interact with in terms of being a problem solver. But runes are an easy electrical upgrading of gear mechanic, so I think like if the purpose is to give people problem solve tools, the bench probably works better. But we obviously know that they're not going that route. They're determined to do it without doing like a lines of text, which I get, like having a physicality to it.
I think that if they simply add the harvest mechanic in some way, not even the harvest mechanic, just some way to swap the resistance on your gear. So if you have, 40 lightning res, but all your other gear also has lightning res, and now you're way overcapped on lightning res, but you're undercapped on fire res. I want to be able to swap that lightning resistance to fire resistance. You do that with the harvest bench in PoE 1. It's so good. I think they should bring it to this game. Because I wanted to wear this helmet, which requires 99 intelligence. And if I could just swap one of my I'm way overcapped on fire resistance. If I could have just swapped one of my fire resistances to like cold resistance, then I would have been able to put stats in my runes instead of fucking resistance. But I can't swap the resistance. So I had to go and buy shit on the trade market that had the exact types of resistances that I need. So fucking annoying and such a waste of currency. However, I'm overcapped on Chaos Res. I can get a new pair of gloves easily. A pair of gloves with the actually correct defense. Probably go armor, evasion, and energy shield. And then all I would need on it is lightning resistance and the damage. And then just see what else there is. So now I'll basically have 3 chances. Oh, wait, I need the strength, don't I? I think I had a belt with more strength. I still need some strength on that. We'll see. We'll see. I should be able to upgrade my gloves. I already do enough damage. It's going to be a defensive upgrade.
It is, in many ways, a better thing for people to engage with, especially for crafting. And I guess runes are crafting without feeling like crafting too, which is good.
What do you prefer personally?
Personally, I don't think that for me runes are a big deal. They're not something I think about too much. They're there as just like a nice little problem solve. And I think as far as like the swapping resists at the bench thing, they do that well. I think that's fine. I'm constantly like, oh yeah, I changed some pieces of gear around, so I'm like, oh yeah, I'll just change these runes over.
Not always,
so a little
though.
bit more access there would be good. Overall, for me, the bigger focus has been on like how essences have been to engage with in the Abyss crafting, and how those kind of like play in and get introduced, because those are the stuff I like.
Yeah, what he just said is so true. I love it. It's the most powerful and readily available crafting I've ever seen in this game, by far. Maybe corpses in Necropolis League, but I was playing on console back then, so I wasn't really engaged with all that stuff. It wasn't like today with the tools that they have on console either. The fact that you can get a 2-mod item and then use an essence to get a guaranteed mod, and then you use the Abyss crafting mechanic mixed with omens to like have a really, really good shot at getting a really good 4th mod. It's so good.
Like a lot more.
Yeah.
Keen to talk about that later.
Tuna, what about you? Like, how do you feel about the crafting bench compared to runes?
I prefer the crafting bench just because I'm always preferring being able to, like, if I need something, I do it, right? Like agency. I think it's just way better. But I also like runes.
Yeah.
I don't think runes are bad, especially in endgame. I think runes are really cool, and what they've done in the 0.1 patch last season, they really put in some like really cool shit. So I think the new runes are really, really cool. But I think then the issue stems from just the fact that it feels frustrating early to fix problems that you would be able to fix in PoE1. And you can kind of like attribute it to like, oh, is the runes an issue or what? But for me, the issue is if they want to go down with runes, then it would be, I need more regal orbs or I need more essences. Because they gave me enough exalts. We already talked about the fact that they didn't give us enough like resistance runes.
Bro, I appreciate what this guy is saying. There's no way. There's no way we're getting more essences. I don't think it's happening. Like, no fucking way. The amount of essences already is insane.
But it just felt like I was stuck with like 2 mod items and like either having no essence to get a resistance on it, or no regal to potentially slam it to get further.
If you're talking about the campaign, sure. Endgame, I think there's plenty. Although I thought there was enough essences in the campaign, honestly. Like, I felt like I was using essences a lot.
You know, res or whatever, and I think bases in this game are just too impactful to not incrementally upgrade. My base defenses were non-existent without upgrading, So
Are you talking about in like during leveling now or during in-game?
during specifically leveling, because I think that's for me like
Right.
90% of my problems currently with Path of Exile 2 is during leveling. I think once you get to the end game loop, it feels fine. Like for the most part, we just need more content and for towers to be removed. But for the leveling is like really where all the pain
Slip that
points.
in there.
Yeah, yeah.
Hell yeah,
But
okay.
the real pain points are just like being kind of like feeling stuck in this loop of I need this res, I can't
can
get
craft
it,
this.
or like I need to check the vendor, just like not an enticing gameplay loop for me, and just sort of like having like no control over really, or you know, you could have control in by like brute forcing farming, you know, farming one zone over and over again, which is what I would do on hardcore, but I'm not sure if that's necessarily good game design because like on hardcore you kind of sign up for that, but on softcore it doesn't feel like is this the way that it's intended to be played, right? The kind of thing. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
have
I
a
can see that. It's
question.
definitely a bit like locked on hardcore, like what you can do upgrades and gold costs and stuff. Go on, Ziggy.
On this topic of runes, I'm curious what you guys think about the idea of being able to salvage items that you've socketed and you get the rune back. It's like if you actually destroy the item, you can get the runes back. I feel
I don't
like
think they're
that
ever
would-
going to let you do that.
Yeah, I doubt it.
It doesn't
I
solve
also
the
think
problem
it's
It was
anyway.
an end game, but
The problem is you can't res swap. It has nothing to do with the availability of runes. Like the answer to that is just make runes drop more. You know? They'll make runes drop more if they need to, but they're
for leveling, it seems like it would be a nice help. But
Yeah.
can't really see how you disentangle the two.
But then they could fix that issue in many other ways, right? And not to like create this weird, convoluted, like it works now but it doesn't work later type of thing. I think having syncs
Yeah,
in the game is really
wouldn't wanna
important
do
for softcore trade. So the more syncs there are, the better. But at the same time, like yeah, there's problems in early game that need to be solved.
I mean, it does mean deleting it. It does mean destroying the item, right? That's what I was thinking about it from that perspective. Not
I
just
know,
taking it
yeah.
out, but
Yeah.
actually like just
That's true,
dismantling the
actually.
item.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be like the only way to do it. I don't know. I don't see them doing it, but it's not a bad idea. Rue, I was curious how you feel about the crafting bench versus runes.
Well, I think runes are kind of not too great early compared to the crafting bench, but what they did with the end game section of runes, how it
Yeah.
creates new builds and like, you know, actual like build archetypes through gems, and then having an economy to back that up because, you know, runes are now drop based, right? A lot of the new ones really gives another like flair to your sockets, where the crafting bench is just like everyone would have it, and then you know as long as like you got it once, everyone could get it. Now there's another like economic side of runes, which I think is pretty fun. I wasn't the biggest fan of runes when the game started, but if they're going to keep adding these socketables in and they're going to get crazier and crazier, I think it's actually a good part for the game. It's a good thing for the game.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
no,
agree with
I
a lot.
like
The end game
thinking
stuff
for
looks really good. It's getting way more interesting, eh? It's just like I think that it's just the leveling for me that runes suck for now.
Yeah.
Just not
The
being available.
leveling
Right?
was very rough, especially on hardcore, because like I feel like there's such an insane amount of gold sinks and currency sinks early, because I like on hardcore it was
Two
hard to
ins
res cap, like, and then like every time I finally get res capped, new act and I lose more res, and I'm like, oh my god, dude, I am starting to struggle here. And then I would like I was trying to like disenchant a lot this time because I've been doing gambling before, and none of my regals hit. So I would like I'd be picking up every single blue, maybe getting a 2-step blue, and every regal would miss, and I'm just like I'm just not getting any gear. And then once I got to Act 4, I'm gonna try like buying on the auction house. It's like, cool, this is 40% of your gold to buy one item from another player. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I know they said it was gonna be high early, so I'm expecting that to like go down, but it was like there's so many sinks early. I don't feel like there's much of a gold sink late game though. I feel like almost in maps, even in like tier 1 maps, they're almost like too generous with gold compared to early game.
That's a really, really
You get a
good
ton of
point.
gold.
That's a
And
really fucking
PoE1
good
gold
point.
is like a huge issue, right? All the way, like you need so much of it, all even in the end game. This game, I just have millions of gold just sitting there because you never really use it because there's nothing to do with it, right?
Yeah, especially like we don't have like a King's March to like send people with, so there's like nothing to do with endgame other than like gamble that
Well, they
minutes.
can add that in the league, right?
And
You
gambling
flip the
is also like
exchange.
limited.
But like even if you flip the
Yeah,
exchange, you'll
but-
be struggling to run out unless you do like very large, sort of small margin trades.
Yeah, it would have to be crazy flipping. Like already now, when I've just started mapping, like I think I only got like 12 hours of mapping in, and I have 670,000 gold.
So
And the
fucking
trades
annoying.
aren't exactly like huge, right? So, I've had no issues with gold in the end game. So I do think we'll see like maybe.
Heyohh.
I don't know. Maybe we just need more gold sinks, like more to do with gold. But I don't know what that would be.
I'm not opposed to adding more gold sinks, but I'm glad that it's panned out that normal players aren't being bottlenecked on gold for trading via the asynchronous trade. Like, I want that to only really be affecting botters, not actual players. I don't want that to be
Yeah.
the bottleneck. That's a lame bottleneck to like be like, oh, I gotta go grind some more gold so I can trade. Good to be able to just kind of forget that it's a thing.
No, I agree with that for sure. I wasn't expecting it to be that much of a bottleneck early. It was interesting. But it's the auction house and stuff has been really nice. We can talk about that later. I wanted to just
Let's see if there are
wrap up
any
like campaign
changes.
talk with talking about just Act 4. Personally, I was blown away by Act 4. It's like by far the best thing I've seen in an ARPG campaign. It's crazy. It's actually, I don't know if you guys agree with this, but it was surprisingly short. The second time, I think it took me 1 hour to run through it. The first time was actually quite long, right?
Essence.
Hardcore, and I'm really, really scared. So it took me a long
Essence.
time,
We're gonna look
but
up
on my run through, I think I
gloves.
used somewhere between 3 and 6 hours on Act 3 and 1 hour on Act 4. So I was just, as soon as I got to Act 4, I was like sprinting.
Okay.
So yeah, no, I was very, very impressed with all the bosses and everything. I was a little bit surprised on the amount of like Awakener level boss fights in Act 4. Like,
Yeah.
there are some there that like we just saw like half a hardcore got wiped out, or maybe more, right? Like we kept seeing like on the ladder, it was like has died at level 54, has died at level 54, has died at level 54. And that was like
Is
2
it
or
the
3
monkey?
hours where people were. I'm not 100% sure if it was the monkey, the last boss of Act 4, or like you know the Cyrus Mace boss.
Yeah.
But I think those 3 were like doing some heavy wipeouts. Like I saw like streamers died to all of those.
Yeah. They're really hard, like because they
Um,
one shots, right? So I can't imagine what
Yeah,
it's like
I mean it.
on hardcore, man. Like,
Yeah, I mean it was crazy. The thing is like, pin is so broken. Like I'm a tactician, and most people, very few, even on hardcore, are playing tactician. So I was really scared going up to the bosses. But then my mortars just did so much damage, and I had a really decent weapon. So all of my boss fights were like 6 seconds or less. And
Yeah.
the way pin works is I get pin into heavy stun into pin.
Yeah.
So it's like even if the fight did take long, it's like I have like
Does this sell
15
for
seconds
anything?
of the boss not doing anything.
meanwhile, spells.
I am also playing a Grenado,
Okay, one
and
insult.
I really want my first experience with new campaign bosses, especially with how good Period 2's ones are, to be something where I, in softcore, die once or twice on any major boss. But I unfortunately did not have that experience because, and I know it's like this is just 100% the like big balance disparity between builds, because some people were like spending a lot of time on bosses or getting stuck or whatever. Or the bosses were really long. People are like, it took me that 10 minutes to kill that boss, and it's like, so there's like a big difference here, and it's kind of a bummer that grenades just so happened to do so. The NP and I was the same experience, do so much damage, and kind of skipped that. I was like, it's not the same when you arbitrarily try and not do damage just to see their abilities. So I was a little bit bummed about that. But your original question, I guess, was the campaigns, like the
Yeah,
how good
tell
the
me,
gonna
campaigns
force
tell me
a
more about
prefix
your
on
Act 4
this?
thoughts.
Yeah, I think I could be tightened up a little bit in a few areas. There's a couple of awkwardnesses that need to be worked out. Like, so the shark fin, for example. You get the shark fin, if you do that island first, which I did, you get it at the start of the act, and then you don't really... I did the island where you hand it in, like at the end of the act. You don't know that sort of stuff ahead of time.
we
There's
hit
some kind of
lightning
weirdness
damage,
just with the
we're
nature
in
of
the
the being
money.
sandbox campaign. It
Yeah.
is interesting how it is a really long first playthrough, but then subsequent ones can be really fast. That's actually really cool. That's if they can manage that sort of design
lightning damage.
for more content in the
That's what I'm
campaign, then
talking
that's kind of like a
about.
pseudo
Oh,
campaign skip.
yeah.
You can like make a ton of the stuff kind of optional in a sense.
Yeah.
And the sandbox aspect of it kind of lets you yeah, I only just kind of beeline through it. One of my favorite new additions to the campaign was how they have integrated league mechanics into the game and the story. So you get a bis
New
with an NPC at the
Yes.
start, actually tied to quests. You get a quest reward from it.
They're very
And
rewarding.
it's like that for pretty much all of them. In even like Delirium was like a pleasant surprise for that to be in the campaign. Like you get an opportunity. I got like 6 emotions from that boss, and then I was able to anoint my amulet then and there. That's like soft tutorialization. That's really good. And Expedition was phenomenal. That was like super rewarding. I hit like tons of XP modifiers in there, so I got like 2.5 levels from
I
just clearing
died.
that one expedition at a time. I was like, oh my god, look at the XP. Every single mob was killing. It's like 5% XP.
wow.
Incorporating that stuff into the campaign and actually making like quests and tied to the NPCs and quest rewards, like such a good thing. I think it's going to get people like set up for endgame a lot more. It's going to be really good for new players. And it was just a really fun way of doing it too. Made it
Not
like
that
a
good.
bit more real and tangible. So really like that. Big bummer though, the end of the interludes. I really thought there was going to be another boss after I did the 3 interludes, because they've got
Lightning
these, you can
damage
do them
is
in
tier
order, right?
5,
So I thought you'd do them all.
unfortunately.
There's like 3 mini bosses. The last one I did was the twins, and I didn't
What?
even realize they were the end
feel
of
like if I
the
hit-
boss for that campaign. So obviously again, kind of a
Like if I happen to
build
hit 2
power problem,
resistance
but
modifiers on it,
I was
that would
really
be
like,
really
okay,
good.
cool, yeah, we're
Let's
gearing
just
up
use
for
regular
a
exalts,
boss fight. We're
actually.
getting all the things together. We're going to do like a boss fight, and then like some story thing's going to go
wait, how
wrong, and we're going to
expensive
get
are
booted
greater
into the
exalts
endgame,
anyway?
right? They're like, oh no, you may have defeated them, but we failed. So
How expensive are
So,
regular
maybe
exalts?
we can
Yeah,
fix this
I
in the
mean-
future.
It's you.
I mean,
was
that's the
jarring.
thing, right? They are very temporary acts. I was surprised. I kind of had the opposite. I was expecting way more bare bones stuff for the interludes. When they
These
first
are really good
posted them,
themselves.
yeah, like I was like,
Good
these are just
transition.
full acts. These are just full like quality 2 acts, in my opinion, pretty much. So I sort of had the opposite experience there.
There's apparently a bugged cutscene. So there's supposed to be a cutscene when
Yeah.
you go to Oriath, when you do the go to Oriath thing, but
Oh.
right now it just black screens you to
Yeah.
endgame town, which was just like, I was such a bummer. I was
Yeah,
really
I
enjoying
would
it
do
and
that.
really get up something. But yeah, apparently you're supposed to. It sounds like from talking to Gwen and I think that we get on a ship and then something happens and goes wrong. I guess the ship crashes or something. We get teleported away. I don't know exactly. But we don't see any of that right now. How much of a bummer is that? The cutscene's broken. It's bugged.
Yeah, I
Oh my
got that when I
God.
read that in the best notes.
Very sad about that.
We can talk
You
more
realize
about
you
these
just got
later
grenades
before we get
nerfed,
to-
right, Ziggy?
Order is registered.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think they'll
I'm a big
mid league
grenade fan,
patch us
too.
though. They're not that broken.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be getting nerfed this league, but there
I
for
don't
sure will
think
be
so
some
either.
sort of tuning back down next league. I think.
Oh, for
At least
sure.
for the campaign. I don't know about endgame.
Yeah,
but
for the campaign, I think is the main problem, right? In endgame, they're like, they're fine. I think,
They-
but like I feel like in
pretty-
endgame, a lot of
pretty
things
quickly go
smooth
back to being
out.
fine.
Exalted
Yeah.
or-
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
lot of other things that are more broken, I think, as well, from what I'm seeing.
Yes.
Rue, do you want to tell me a little bit about your Act 4
Fire
feelings?
resin, life leech is
Oh
pretty
man,
good.
I think Act 4 was really, really epic. I played at grenades also because on my reroll, so I have the same problem with Ziggy where I melted every single boss in a matter of seconds. But I think the act was beautiful. Like I was going through Act 4, and you know how
you know what I'm not adding.
you know
on
how
this?
Twitch chat is like they're negative, a
Lightning
bunch of
damage
PoE
to
one
attack.
viewers just like spamming their BS.
course,
But
Which
then
is the big one.
when I said this act looked
sorry, you have
beautiful, like I almost everybody agreed, right? The game looked
Yeah.
absolutely fantastic in Act 4. The landscape was beautiful, like the game just looked fantastic. And I don't even know how else to describe it.
Yes.
Like the city and everything looked really, really good. It was one of the best looking acts that I've gone through in like any ARPG, not just PoE in general. So
Although
I really
it's
loved
the wrong base.
the visuals in the act.
I
The
might be
fights
able to get
were.
a divine for this.
I watched other people do the fights. Mechanically, they were pretty good. For me, they weren't so good because I just like killed everything in like
But
one
would
hit.
I
But
rather just swap
I watched
this
like
out?
Alk died to
thing
the
is the
freaking
stats, I
the
kinda
maze
need the
guy.
strength.
I was
Yeah,
Alk
there's that.
Alabjeen, So the fights for other people were great. I loved watching them. For me, I think it kind of just blew everything away. But yeah, I loved it. I love this patch in general. Obviously, there's like a lot of other issues, but
Let's look
in
at-
terms of the campaign, it was great for me.
My damage.
Yeah, no, I mean, I did the same thing actually. I watched like almost every clip of people dying, and then
Okay,
I
it
kind of
goes down because I
overprepared.
lose.
I have like PTSD from Black Star in PoE 1 where I went in blind, and she did Astral Avalanche. I hid behind the pillar, and it hit me anyway, and I was like, I'm never doing bosses blind again. Like, the player was to log out. So that was, yeah, I
Can't
just
even
over
equip
prepare
it,
for
yeah.
every boss now. So, yeah.
I have a question for you all. I have a
but
question for you all. Did
it
you
has
feel like
fire res.
the campaign felt like a slog? The key word. Did it feel like a slog to you in any way?
Like a slog on spells.
That was all that was talked about in 0-2. How much of a shift have we had?
So, yes and no. And with how things are going, I think they really, really heavily need to reconsider alternate leveling methods for
I need
second
the
character
50.
onwards. And I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I feel like GDD almost
What am I at?
misunderstand
25.
what we're asking for and why we're asking for it. Because I remember you brought this up as a question once, or I did, I can't remember,
can
but
get
one of
one
us
from
brought this up as a
swapping out
question
fire
once, and Jonathan
resistance.
said, if I remember correctly, he said that if people still, maybe it was Chris even, if people still feel
So
like
what
they
was I
want
at with
alternative
lightning
leveling
resistance?
after PoE 2's campaign, they feel like they've failed. There's something like that they said, which I think that means that they're sort of
7 plus
misunderstanding
14,
it,
that's
because when it's that long,
37, 40,
the main
41.
issue is that on your, let's say on your 8th character, right? Because
78.
a lot of us play this game a lot, and a lot of PoE players play this game a lot, right? So if you're on your 5th or 3rd, whatever it is,
78
character,
plus
there is nothing
11.
on that character. No matter what, you will find that will be impactful to your other characters, your economy,
89
anything.
minus 14.
There's nothing you can ever do to make that happen either.
75.
So that already makes people very disinterested in doing the campaign for like their 5th time, 6th time in one season, I think.
So I equip this
What do you think is would be better though?
with
like
strength.
than campaign leveling?
Strength. That's 20
I
points in
think
strength.
people would like. Obviously, like Last Epoch has their solution, right? You can enter monoliths pretty early and stuff, or scale down maps. But I think the reason so many people want like alternative leveling is that it is a bit of a chore, and they just want to get through it fast because that can't happen, right? Like you can never find anything super interesting. You're never gonna find like a best in stock crossbow.
Okay.
Like the rare gear you're finding is kind of irrelevant. You're
So
just
that's 20. That's
throwing out some twin gear and trying to get through it as fast as possible.
That's 20 right there. That brings me to 45.
But that's just an ARPG problem
And
in
then
general,
I'm
right?
going to
That's
need
literally like that in
5.
every game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if I'm gonna do some alternative
more.
leveling with maps, I'm still gonna be bored. I'm gonna be honest, because I'm
That's
still
true.
not gonna
I
find
could
any
just
items.
take
I'm
a
still not
point
gonna
out
find
from
anything.
somewhere and just put it on the tree.
Mainly,
That's all I do.
I just want some movement
I just
speed.
lose this.
If you just give me some movement speed, I'm okay with doing the campaign. Like maybe if you finish some movement, if you like finish the campaign once, you get access to like 50 movement speed boots, and I'm chilling, right? But yeah,
I think this works.
Yeah.
So first
I mean,
things
I
first, I gotta
definitely
put strength
agree.
in
I do
here.
think like things like 7 League Step and PoE 1 make this a lot better. Because
Yeah.
that's not something you can find on your first character. And I really like the idea of preserving that like initial experience, right? It should always be pure, if you will, with like that actual like long, hard first time experience. But
Even beyond the first time,
the
right?
5th character playthrough once right now is gonna be rough, I think.
I think the first
Personally,
character
I
of the
would-
league is great. No?
Maybe I should have just sold
Yeah.
this.
Do you guys
Yeah.
actually enjoy it? Like, just
Well,
out of
I wanna
curiosity,
try.
do you enjoy, like, even in PoE1, do you enjoy your first character of the league
see.
to the campaign?
Yes.
Because I love that shit. Like, the first
Every
character,
time.
everyone's leveling
Every
up.
time.
It's really fun, right? So, okay, at least,
so
okay, just to,
I'm going to go ahead.
for my own
and-
benefit
So
there.
I would only want to see shortcuts. I think. I don't know about like just replacing
all I need to do
campaign
is
with
get
maps or
this
something. Like if they
on.
want to make a whole other alternate leveling thing that is its own unique thing, then yeah, maybe. But who's to say that won't just have the same problem? But if like
Okay.
the
Fuck yeah, let's just
often
do dex
suggested
nodes.
thing is to just like let you go into maps right away, and I don't know, man. I don't know if that, like, I think maybe Rue touched on it there. It's like, I think that maybe that would even just make those earlier levels boring. Maybe I don't know. What I would just want to see shortcuts, like more shortcuts. The ability to kind of bypass certain quests that aren't really very essential, because like you don't really need to tell the story fully again. You can have some shortcuts. You could even storyfy the shortcuts in some way. But like, okay, you're really powerful. If you're powerful enough, you can take some sort of shortcut where you kill a boss like under-leveled or something, and if you can manage that, then that should be good. Because that's kind of what Last Epoch is doing that I like about what they do. I don't really like the going into Monolith at level 30 and having to go back and get the quest rewards. That I think is very awkward.
Yeah.
But what they do that I like is that you can go do basically their versions of like Labyrinth trials, like their dungeons at a very under-leveled level, and they are generally going to be very hard or not doable on most builds, unless you know what you're doing.
4
where you're
strength
second
nodes
character
to
of the league
dex.
and you're very powerful. In which case, if you can do it like 20 levels under-leveled, then great, you get to skip like an act of the campaign almost. I think like a lot of smaller versions of that, like you can skip to the next boss instead of like going and finding some, goober, some, I don't know, what do you call it, just like quest item. You just go there.
I wonder if it would be viable to like all the side quests you currently do for like extra skill points. If there was something you could do in the end game, like I don't know, like kill Arbiter, or maybe it's just something that happens after you finish the campaign, where some waypoints and some skill points are unlocked for new characters or something. I don't know what the best thing.
Kind of
to
like
do
lab trials in PoE1. It feels good not having to do them on second playthrough, right? You're just like You're kind of like muscle memorying your way into the prison one. You're like, wait, I don't have to do this shit. You just walk away.
Yeah.
Like, that feels good, man. Like, so, yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of
resistance
lab
goes
trials,
down.
a lot of people dislike Trial of the Second in PoE 2.
Maybe I just saw
Like
this
they
bad
they
boy.
like borderline hate it.
A lot
Have
of
you
people
guys
are
had
wrong.
experience with
Yeah.
like a lot of people complaining about this? Because I'm okay with it, right? But a lot of people like genuinely hate it.
It feels very easy now.
Yeah.
Compared.
It's always a bit of a surprise for me. That's probably my biggest unpopular opinion, because like it's one of my favorite contents. I actually genuinely really like it.
So I don't
when
know how
PoE
I
2
can
first came
actually
out, I think I
get
did
it going.
300 hours farming Trial of the Sakuma, and it was like my favorite thing to farm. So that's like definitely like the most unpopular opinion I have, I think, because you're right. Like a lot of people really dislike it.
The worst Sekima run is better than like the best
Still made
Trial of
like a
Chaos, in
divine
my
there.
opinion.
Almost a divine.
Yeah.
Like, the Trial of Chaos to me is the one that I dread. It's such a. It just
I
feels like
hate
such
it.
a
I
fun
want to
test.
go
Like every
refund
modifier
passes.
feels
We're
like.
just gonna-
Ugh.
I don't like
I
Trial
hate
of Chaos.
everything
You
about it.
actually get to do things and make decisions in Trial of Sekimas and get like you can do Sekimas runs where your character is stronger, and especially at endgame if you ever like try and farm it and get relics and stuff. It's like it's hard to go back to normal mapping on your character because you're like, I run faster, I dodge roll further, I have twice as much defenses, I blow things up. Amazing.
Yeah. Mathel had a really good take on Ultimatum on when I did stalling, and he was like, at least like Trial of the Sekima has like fun buffs and
think
stuff.
I can-
Whereas like
Yep.
Ultimatum is like,
this
hey, what kind of
loadout,
vice around your
I
boss
look,
would you like today?
I just noticed
and it's
this.
like very true, right? I'm
I
just
have
like,
2
I'm
strengths
hating
in here
it.
right now.
And the thing is like, I'm getting like trying as hard as I can to get the like worst painful or least painful vice around my ball.
Worst painful.
And then I get to
So
the
you're a
ball,
freak.
and it's
Wait, I
like
can only
the
replace
fucking
one of these?
bird, which is like an
No.
apocalyptic awakener level god of death, and I'm just like,
I have to
I
replace
just
this
gotta
strength
reset. I'm not fighting the bird.
with fire
The
res.
patch
Yeah,
notes
yeah,
were
yeah,
so
yeah,
funny
okay.
because there's a line in the patch notes about how they made one of the bird's abilities not able to be avoided. That's what the wording says. It's like you
Yeah.
cannot like made this ability not avoidable. I'm like, that's like, ooh, that's in poor taste right now because I just watched a clip of someone like getting obliterated by some invisible ability that it does. And it's like,
Yeah.
I get that it's just like actually it's just fixing evasion against one of its slams. So I know what it's actually about, but just like, ooh, feels in poor taste right now with that bird.
I got a question though.
Okay.
When I saw that, I was like, yeah, fuck
try
it,
to
buff
sell
it by
this.
200% damage. I'm not doing it anyway. Do what you want. I don't care. Mad.
I have a question about Sekimas, right? Because I think Sekimas is like really good, but
Just
when I
gonna
do a
start it at
gauntlet
5
room,
and then-
it's
and then bring
really
it down.
bad.
I have no
I think the problem with Sekimas is the
bad.
gauntlet room, not the Sekimas. Like that shit's annoying. It's like 4 times longer than any other room, and that's where I lose all my resolve. And it's just I'm losing to objects, not monsters. You know, it's like what the what like. It just feels bad, like compared to the rest of it. Whereas the rest of it, you're kind of like rewarded in that you could just, if you have a good build, kill the monsters fast or whatever else, right?
Yeah.
But the gauntlet, you're kind of just like, gotta hit the lever,
So
whatever else.
you know how the ritual room with like a single ritual is a thing? I want
Yeah.
like the gauntlet rooms to be like that. Like it's a small hallway or some sort of like little single room thing, and it's like pretty difficult
have an order.
and dangerous, but when you do it, and if you're good at it and choose to do it, because you often can choose to either do or not do those, you will like feel good about it because like, oh yes, this is actually going to be like such a fast room because I do it. It's fast but risky. That's what I want those to be.
That would be way better. If it's fast but risky, that would be actually great. Yeah, now it's like long and risky. You know,
long and.
But you know what's
sloggy.
crazy about Sekima? If they triple the number of Arcanist boxes that place drops, nobody will complain anymore. Everybody will love that place. It's like Trialist Sekima is great. That's like that's like the main thing with PoE players, right? You buff the loot, and then everyone's like that place is worth doing.
That's RPGs, man. It's the carrot stick.
That is a bit of my problem actually with Trialist Sekima this season, is that they sort of nerfed the loot heavily in Trialist Sekima by like Abyss can drop timeless jewels now, which I was
very
like
surprised about that.
Yeah, I was like, why not keep that in Trialist Sekima? So I don't necessarily think that you should like just buff the raw currency drops, which would be a nice band-aid solution, because I do think like the generic drops of Trialist Sekima is a little bit low. It needs something else special that it's worth farming for, because right now it's pretty much just about the unique black diamond, right? That's like what I enjoyed farming about it so much, and that part is fun. But if you're not hitting that, then it just feels very like, why am I doing this? The generic drops are really low. So I would love them to maybe make another like Sekima specific reward to make it worth farming. That would like go a long way for me, I think.
Well,
I guess the original topic was actually about
Jesus
ascending
Christ.
rather than like the end game of it. But I agree with that. Sorry, what were you gonna say, Rue?
Oh, I was just saying, like, I mean, it's like Sanctum, right? PoE 2 is just in the future, PoE 1. If Sanctum gave you currency in the first one,
Why can't I go
why wouldn't it give you
here?
currency in the second one?
They ran out.
It's like, I don't know. They ran out? I mean, they could just buff the Arcanist boxes, and I think it's all good.
It doesn't give you currency in the first one
We're just
anymore,
seeing
basically.
future patches.
Yeah,
we've got 20 years of patches to it. That's what we're playing now. 20-year patch version.
Exactly. Exactly. But tell anyone, PoE 1, it's actually Sanctum is like the highest currency per hour in the game. You actually
Still?
Yeah,
They didn't have it, didn't they?
No, you just farm the jewels and you make infinite. It's so OP.
Oh yeah. I am really excited for Tota though. Trial of the Ancients. It's quite the tease now that you go there and you're like, you'll know when the time has come. I'm like, yes, because there'll be a live stream reveal. I get it. Nudge, nudge. They're very cute about that.
Do you think that like huge Tota arena is just gonna be for Tota, or do you think we're gonna have a huge epic boss fight against Hinekora as well?
Maybe there will, like, surely there'll be something at the end of like the Uber Tota championship, right? You'd be like, that's it.
Tota
She gets
World
pissed off that a team loses.
Well, what I would love for Hinekora is a really crazy hard boss fight where you can die. Like, it doesn't actually kill your character, but it is disproportionately harder than anything else in the game. Yeah.
What if Toto was actually PvP,
I don't know if
by
like
the way?
I don't know if a player versus boss fight makes sense in Toto though.
What you saying, Rue?
I have an opinion that I don't really even want to see any PoE 1 mechanics in PoE 2. I want them to make new ones. I've already done all this crap. I want to I want to experience new stuff, man. I want to see new mechanics.
I mean, Abyss
I
feels
see
pretty
that,
new,
but
though,
like,
right?
do you like the remake of Abyss, or do you wish there was something completely new?
I like it, but it's just killing monsters. But
Yeah.
I think the mechanics of Abyss actually makes it like better because now you have unveils added in the game, and you have all of this stuff. You have all these new jewels and stuff that come with Abyss and stuff like that. That's the cool part about Abyss. But Abyss itself is just killing a big group of numbers. And Abyss is like really bad for performance for a large group of
the way
players.
that it levels
I have a
up
very high
everybody,
NPC.
modifiers.
And
rare there.
man, my FPS goes to like nothing. And I know you guys haven't gotten that far yet, but there are maps on your Atlas where the whole entire map is just like abyss holes. And there's like thousands of monsters on your screen. And man, and I don't know, like, Jonathan wants PoE2 to be a visceral combat game. I don't know how you're gonna get visceral about 1,000 dudes trying to gangbang you at the same time, right? Like it's
Yeah.
just,
That's
it's,
ridiculous,
you need massive
I
player.
understand that.
It kind of feels like reverse engineered
so-
PoE1, right?
So
Makes sense.
representing like Team Mortar here, I don't know which ability are you using, Ziggy?
Explosive grenade, but I also have like the oil burning ground stuff, which is crazy.
Okay, so
Yeah.
now I have 4 totems and I'm using cluster grenade, and my title
Oh, so
recently
you're-
has been the seizure cannon. This is literally,
cursed.
I actually literally have sunglasses here because it is actually painful at times. Because I have been doing those abyss maps already, and it is completely fucked. Completely
try it?
fucked.
It's
Like,
crazy.
Flash grenade with Nova projectiles on cannon.
yeah, that physically hurts. That actually physically hurts. Like, it stings on my eye. So I was like, I'm not doing flash grenades. Somebody in my chat was like, you gotta try it. And I was like, that hurts. But even with like cluster grenades, it's so wild, dude. Like, I might have to reroll, not because of the power of the build, but because my eyes are
Yeah.
starting to hurt.
Your stream is unwatchable. Okay, I love you, Ziz, but your stream is unwatchable. Like, not only have you like maximized the AoE and visual spam and actual mag rate and seizure inducing, but you're playing with the overlay map, but it's like it's high opacity as well. Like whatever. Like
Because otherwise you can't see it, bro. I have the same problem.
Yeah, I have
It's just
to. That's how I
spam on
see
my
it.
screen, so I have to put it like max. Otherwise, it's
Yeah.
like I don't know where I'm going, bro.
I look like I'm looking at one of those just like unhinged like Korean MMOs or something, where it's just like all this stuff on screen. It's like 500 characters on screen on top of each other, and it's like some weird thing. I'm like, what even is this?
What's he supposed to do? Don't hate the player, hate the game, man.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I have been asking for the passing slider for
Yeah.
a very long time. It's time. Like, somehow
Uh-oh.
PoE2 has worse visual clarity than PoE1.
It's actually true. It's actually true. It's actually true.
Yeah.
Do not
I
wanna
really
die.
want.
I'll be honest, I can't see anything when I'm mapped. I just run in the middle of everything, and I hope everything dies before I die
Yeah.
because I can't see
Problem,
anything.
isn't it? It's like
you play grenades
it's
as
a
well,
problem because like grenades, for example, you want them to be a big, cool, chunky, cool-looking explosion, right?
Yeah.
And like a part of making our builds bigger is making those explosions happen more often and making them bigger and making more of them. That is how we
Yeah.
scale. So fundamentally an issue there. And if you do just add like a slider, like maybe you can tamp down on a little bit, but then at a certain point it's making that build not feel good anymore, right? Like we like to think that we're not swayed by things like fancy packaging,
That's what I'm talking
but
about.
we absolutely are. Like if your skills don't sound and look impressive, then your build won't feel as good. You won't think your build is as good. Literally, it's the classic thing. People want to put an MTX on your skill and it's instantly done.
I don't thought experiment though. Is that like something that wears off? Because I feel like at first that would be like slider all the way, but then over time I would just be like, yeah, I'm sick of this shit now. Like that's why it's
I
a
agree,
slider.
I agree with
right?
that. I think it's very important in the start and feeling out a build, but it's usually something I would like very much like to remove because I, especially on hardcore, really want to see more of what my enemies are doing.
It's just unfortunate for the viewing experience because then you'd have sort of like no coherence, right? So that's like if the GGG angle is like, oh, we just want the game to look the same for everybody. I understand, but it actually does make playing the game worse. So about like balancing the two, I suppose. Who wanted to say something?
Yeah.
Can I have a small complaint? Can they stop putting green floor with green on death effects with
Yeah.
green
Not as bad
monsters
as it
around them?
was.
Because it's really, really bad. Like no one can see shit, and then
abyss-
you're
the
just like,
abyss stuff.
and then there's
I feel like
and
they
there's like
kind
a
of fixed that.
black dot that does like 1,000 life to you per second, and you running through it, and you're just like it like out dots your life flask.
Yeah.
and it's really, really bad. I can't see anything when it comes to abyss.
Those green
From
bubbles
beyond.
as
My
well.
biggest pet peeve is like the green blobs that
Yeah.
do like crazy damage. And like,
They won't
you
shut me
know,
down.
there's two things that detonate when you go on top of them. There's the really scary, huge ones that like have like a big charge up. They do like 1/10 of the damage of the tiny blobs. And the blobs are even worse because they spawn out of those like small goblin-like things. But if you kill one while it's on top of you, it just instantly detonates. So I'm just like, oh god.
Like you have to take a clip and then analyze, and then still yet you might not see what killed you. Like we had to like genuinely go CSI mode, and it's like, is it that? And it's like so small and unassuming that you're like, nah, there's no way it's that. And then you see like it pops, my character just disappears, bro. And yeah, so it's, I don't know how you guys are gonna do it in HC. Like you need some serious defenses to survive that stuff.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. Energy
I have
shield.
maybe
It's
like
good.
a thought experiment here. What is a build that has amazing visual clarity, but still feels chunky and satisfying to play? Like, is there any examples of that? I'm wondering. Maybe chat.
Lightning arrow, Deadeye.
I was gonna say.
That's pretty spammy though, right? Like, because you got the lightning rolls going flashing
Oh,
everywhere
ED,
and stuff
ED.
like that.
The contagion
it's
is so
gotta be-
satisfying as well, yeah.
Does that have that kind of like
The
dot
melty feeling.
caster
It's like-
feel, which is satisfying in its own way, but not
Yeah.
but it's not kind of like chunky though, right? So how would you translate that to chunky builds? So I think like the dot builds historically have been good. Contagion builds have been really good for that.
Yeah.
Is there any examples that feel like, because that captures the damage over time feel nice?
I
Yeah.
like this guy.
I want to give maybe an example,
awesome.
but it's PV1. Like when you threw one seismic
Delirium
trap, I
fog
feel
in
like
your
that
maps
had pretty
dissipates
okay
13% slower.
visual,
Okay,
but
so
it,
it's a
but it,
delirium
when you threw like
situation.
10, that was the problem, right?
This
Like,
isn't
but
worth anything,
if it was
right?
like one
I mean-
seismic trap, it was like.
If I throw one explosive grenade, the visual's fun too.
Yeah, but then
happen.
but then that means that maybe they need to, instead of like having 10 grenades on top, like overlay them into one big one, or
I mean,
you know.
this is a very good point. Like,
Don't
I
tell me
do
that
think there
5
should be
Divine already
incentives to
sold.
turn grenades into single projectile. Like, I'm surprised that there's not some
Here, let's
sort
lower
of
this.
like convergence support gem. Yeah, merging support gem where it's like you're turning your extra projectiles into like, you know, damage scaling or something like that. So instead, so that you can like make nuke grenades that are
Yeah.
only going off every now and then. Like that would like design is actually a way to help this a lot. Like make things like concentrated effect more appealing. Make things that do less projectiles and incentivize that. Because right now, especially now that they've added, so you can add multi-shot to every grenade. Why wouldn't you add multi-shot to every grenade, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
max projectiles.
Yeah, I
Okay,
mean,
but real talk.
last Epoch had something like that where there was like a chaos move. Can't remember the names of anything, but like you would like throw the balls that like radiate chaos damage basically. But if you like cast it on top of them, it like merge them all together and make like one large
One
AoE
big
instead.
one.
That was really cool. Yeah, that was it.
Okay, real talk. If invisible skill effects existed for $20, would you buy it?
Yes.
Like you just make your skill invisible.
I would probably have
ask
to
that
for some
question.
skills.
Come
I've done it in
dude.
before, like for MTXs that were better visibility. There has been
Yeah,
examples
that's
of
pay to
that.
win.
In
Wood
P1
Spark.
purchase skills that had better visibility. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
I am
but I would
literally,
Vanilla
Oh,
Stormcall unplayable.
shit, I'm looking at the wrong
MTX
thing here.
Stormcall pretty good.
I'm literally going to make a new character so that I'm like not exposing my audience to like 16 hours of like eye cancer per day. I'm gonna do like a Thorns build or a
A
ED build.
detox.
Yeah, just like to like, okay, you guys can relax and actually look at the screen now. Like it's so powerful and I love the mortar. But obviously like there's the problem with like defense in hardcore. Like ES might kind of be the easiest way to actually tank in a game. And yeah, it's rough.
Can I recommend you a Thorns guide?
Yes, please. Is it by Quid?
I heard no,
No, I was
tourists
joking. I was joking.
on the Thorns guide.
He's drama
The other
baiting.
guy, I forgot about that. I forgot about that. I forgot that that's what he did. So, well, Son of Seven, I saw this really cool thing about Thorns this morning that he messaged me, and that's like, there's a Thorns support that go on auras, right? And it's like, Thorns 2 is 70% increased damage with Thorns. But you can stack that. You could have 6 of those now, because you can,
Oh.
they actually work. So, it costed a lot of spirit, but Mercenary gets, Tactician gets 50% less spirit cost. So you can just run a ton of auras, invest a bit into spirit, and then you can have 5 or 6, 70% more damage with Thorns.
Don't tell me that.
Technician's cool.
You bait me into a Thorns build.
I mean, they're really
I'm
good.
literally-
They're actually really
That's
good.
good tech.
Actually, really OP.
Yeah.
yeah, no,
And it
legit
kind of
OP.
gets cooler. It kind of gets cooler because Tactician has. Let me see if I can open. I think I have POV open here. Tactician has that node, which is called Stay Light, Use Cover, right? Which is defend with 200% of armor. Enemies
Yeah.
have accuracy penalty against you based on distance. Max chance to evade is 50%, and max fist damage reduction is 50%. Doesn't say anything about elemental mitigation. So you're getting basically double the effectiveness of all your physical damage taken as elemental, because you're still defending with 200% armor, which is now affecting elemental, and that is uncapped.
Yeah, but that's pre-res.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, but you also have so little things to scale you. So you actually get to strength stack. You probably get 4, maybe 5k life. You get 80 to 90 max res, however much you can invest in, right? So you actually get a lot of tank there. And it's still gonna matter if you get 50k armor, which is basically then 100k armor against Ellie. That is a number that matters.
Pretty good. That is really good. Yeah.
Sure.
And
100k is a
on
number
top of
that
that, 100% armor. No wait, what is it? You get you get the deflect thing, right? It's like 20% of your armor value is deflect, and then you do iron reflexes, and you do glancing blows. You might not even need iron reflexes, but either way, you do glancing blows, which massively buffs your chance to deflect. Like on my character, which I only have 4,000 armor, I have 36% chance to deflect, which obviously it's not important as a main defense, but it's definitely gonna make a difference.
Yeah, I hate the deflect mechanic, by the way.
Speaking of deflect,
it's terrible. I'm so angry at its implementation. It's so fucking annoying. Like you can't cap it. First of all,
I agree.
Second, it's just like it just hasn't. It's not entropic. So you're like, I don't know this for a fact, but it doesn't feel that way. But like it's a complete dice roll on already something that's dice roll technically, which is evasion. So they just added like evasion squared. Like what do you like? We were told you'd be able to cap it, but you need so much of it to cap it that you're just at a point where obviously in PoE it's opportunity cost. So you're just better off just going ES instead. You just get way more HP. Like damage reduction doesn't matter when you just get HP.
Is the problem. Like, do you really want another suppression where he's just like checkbox cap it?
Yes.
I think the second part of your sentence there is like, but so it's better to go ES. Like if it was,
I want something that's reliable,
was
right?
fine without needing to be capped.
Well, the problem is life.
It
starts from life. I just have not enough of it. So that means that I cannot tank a hit. So I'm walking over a green bubble and it blows me up. I don't want it to 70% of the time not blow me up and then 30% blow me up, right? Like that's when I have one portal and I'm investing in my maps, that's just straight bullshit. Like and like I'm saying one portal and Ziz is probably like, oh, first world problems, you know, I have one life, you know, but like it matters because you're designing the game around punishing people for not building tank, but then you make your tank complete dice roll. It's just not good. Like it would be okay if I could be like, oh, I'll just get some life to sort of like, you know, weather, like have it less often happen, right? Like, but you can't do that, so instead you just get blue life instead and you win. It's unconditional right at that point, so.
I think like if you could, rather than just being kind of like a binary cap or uncap thing, if it was a thing where like the further you scaled it up beyond 100% chance to get a deflection, you'd get like graded magnitudes of deflection. So you got like a small deflect. So you could, maybe it would be pretty easy to get like 20% mitigation and 100 cap, like get a cap for that. But to like get a 40% deflection, that takes a lot more investment.
Yeah, 40% is a high number, so I'm okay with that. But it needs to be reliable to some degree, right? It can't just be either you die or you don't on a one portal map and then have no alternative outside of stacking ES. What are your thoughts?
What were you saying?
I have a great idea. All right, this is like game breaking and revolutionary, right? What if they deleted deflection and they added max life onto the tree?
Yeah, it's just life. Life is honestly the problem. The biggest problem with the game right now is there's not enough lives. Like, because even before, like the problem wasn't evasion. The problem is that like you just didn't have enough life on top of your evasion, right? So when you don't evade, you die. So and now we have the problem of like, you don't evade and then you don't deflect, you die. So it's like, oh, okay, we just don't have enough HP if you're not building ES. Or if you're not or whatever, I suppose.
I really liked the idea initially of no life nodes on the tree. I thought that was a really cool idea. But I don't know if they just need to inherently give us a lot more life while leveling, if that's like the case. But like, if you removed energy shield from the game right now, our defenses for the endgame are so fucked. Like, it is genuinely so rough. Like, obviously you can do it on softcore trade, but like on hardcore trade, the market is like very rough. Like very few people are playing. If you're wondering how few, there is not a single Lesser Stormwind for sale on the auction house. Not one, by the way. So it's like it's a very, very rough economy on hardcore.
That's actually crazy.
Yeah,
That's worse than a private league.
Getting really good gear is very, very in a tough spot. And obviously SSF is even worse, right? Because you don't have crazy farm potential. Now, the mapping stuff isn't as bad, but it does give you an indication of how low the stock of things are. So getting proper defense is rough.
What's the real point of adding a RNG defensive layer on top of an RNG defensive layer? It's like there's no point.
Exactly.
I don't even know why we have deflect, and it's so badly tuned. On top of that, right? You need 70,000 evasion to get the 88% deflect. 70,000 deflection rating.
So much.
That's like your whole entire character. It's so badly optimized.
I agree, because what evasion really needs, right, is the equivalent of a Kintsugi, the chest in PoE1, that like when you do get hit, you take less damage, because the entire purpose of evasion is you're not going to get hit a lot, but you need something to prevent you from getting one shot when you are getting hit. So yeah, it's rough for sure, like the current state of the defense in the game, and I do think they'll fix that over time. But I definitely miss life right now.
I would love if deflect was a Kintsugi style effect. So if what you built with deflect was how much damage reduction you get if you haven't been hit for X amount of time, and you can scale those different factors. I think that would be way more fun version of deflect.
So exactly, that's what I was gonna say. The way I would like deflect to work is if you're getting hit 3 or 4 times recently, it does nothing. Literally like 5% to 0% damage reduction. But yeah, like you can get deflect to 100%, and it's 40% damage reduction. If you get hit again within 4 seconds, it's maybe only a 20% damage reduction. So
that's a good idea.
That keeps the
Pretty good idea.
Yeah, that keeps the intended theme, right? Of you still want to stack high evasion, and you can't just throw it on every single build, because that was the big fear. I think a lot of us thought deflection was going to be super OP. Like, why the fuck would you not cap evasion in every single build? This is just warriors get fucked, right?
Yeah.
But I think this would make it very evasion specific, achieve the goal for evasion, and keep it in theme.
You know how people complain about armor being shit? GGG was like, hold my beer.
The ones I want.
Let me show you deflection.
Bro, I crashed out
ones
today,
that I
so I had
want
an argument with
to-
someone. He's like, it's like deflection is OP, and I'm
Reroll
like,
here.
bro, just put the numbers in a calculator. It's not OP. Just like you can literally put the numbers in. Like it was like I was talking to a flat earther, bro, almost like. Like trying to convince me it's broken.
I
I'm
wanna
like,
reroll these bad
well,
boys.
it's not, because like you look here, you put the numbers in, and like you look, I have the receipt, and it's like, no, you don't understand. You're just a noob.
So,
Right, I was like
the thing
actually
I
going
need
crazy.
to reroll these.
Just a tourist.
But it's like, bro, you get yes,
The thing I
and you
need to
don't have
reroll
conditional
these
anymore, and there's
is
so many good tools
the
for you
omen
to get ES back. You know, there's Ghost Shroud, there's
Replace
Sensuous
everything with
Sanguis,
rarity.
there's Chevron's Belt. Obviously, like off the top of my head, that's all.
We're looking for the
You know,
omen of
it's
replace
like
everything
it's
with
it's a
rarity.
good defense, and everybody's gravitating towards it, and they don't want to nerf it, but they're not giving adequate sort of alternatives for people that are not stacking it. It's just frustrating to see that, especially since like the pitched version of deflection was just so much better than what we got, right? So that was even more disappointing. That ending the campaign on a full pure evasion based character being 20 evasion. Like, what is that, bro? Like the current curve is just
Alright, that costs 10
so
exalt.
difficult
What are the other ones?
to get your character
Yeah.
off the ground that it just seems like a little bit heavy handed on their side in regards to
Yeah, I agree. Like, I'm tactician, and obviously
this one?
I didn't get much choice of
Let's
what to
do this
wear,
one.
right, during the campaign. But at some point, I had like 900 armor and 900 evasion. And I know like the numbers aren't correct because the formulas are weird, right? But I remember looking at my armor, it said 45% armor mitigation with 900, and my evasion said 0. And I'm like, hold
Zero,
on,
yep.
hold
Yeah.
on, this is the same
It's so
amount.
weird.
Like, I was like, what's happening
is this
here?
bug?
Yes, I got him for.
Yeah, I was like, is this
instead.
bug? Like, surely I could dodge it a little bit.
Like, how is it zero?
So now we're gonna
go
It's
for
like,
Chaos
because even
Orbs.
deflection, like the first like 400. You get like 400 deflect rating, and it gives you like 10%. So it's like even that first bit like has like it does a lot, but apparently not for evasion.
Yeah.
Like the heck? Because even Piri 1 had like guaranteed 5% evade rate.
Let's
right?
put 4 mods on all of these.
Yeah. It need to be more gifty and early, I think, is like what it feels like to me. Like the game really needs to not be like Act 1 when you enter is the most difficult thing you'll ever experience, right? Because it kind of feels that way. Where it's like I get it. You want the start to be sort of like it's the only place where you can truly
Amazing.
Control balance is when people first spawn in.
Bro, these are
so you
all
want
really
them to
good.
have like that
These are
difficult
amazing
experience, and I just assume that that's why they're so like adamant on keeping it a certain way. But
I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right
then
back.
like if by the end of the acts I'm still unable to take control of my character, then it's just like what's going on, man? Like it's too heavy-handed.
Like, so, yeah. I mean, I think we all agree. Defense in PoE 2 needs a lot of work. Especially, we just need more options, and some of them need to be reworked. But I think we'll end the defense discussion there, because I actually want to talk about another thing, too, which is skill and build disparity. And obviously, we've all seen the numbers on stats. So I'll have, after I finish, I'll have Rue take this one to start. But obviously, we saw that was like 81% Deadeye. In top 100 or top 1000, I can't remember what it was. But it was very, very large numbers. Do you think there is a skill diversity issue, or do you think it's more the fact that they didn't release the skill tree basically, and stuff like that until super late? What do you think, Rue?
Oh man, I feel like the whole balance of the game is rotten, and I'm pretty positive about all the other stuff about PoE 2, but the balance of the game is just rotten to the core. Items are way too powerful. The skill tree is not powerful enough. And it just creates this whole like atmosphere of like you're just like in struggle town. Oh, the game is a walkthrough. That's how I feel like the game is currently, because as soon as you get any sort of items, the game becomes just so much easier than what you experienced in the previous acts or whatever, right? So I think the whole entire balance of the game is just rotten. I think they need to redo all of it. They need
That's a good point.
like boost the baselines. They need to
Here, let me pause that
nerf
for
the
a second.
skills so they don't interact with items as hard. Get like a more.
I think this is a good point. You come in. You come into a map. No, not a map. In the beginning of the game, you in the beginning of the game, it's really, really hard. Then once you start getting your gear, it gets easier. So yeah, and it's not good if the first act is the hardest act. You kind of want the game to get progressively harder. I get what he's saying.
Or balanced game, because right now,
Okay.
like all the bosses die in a second, right? When you have good gear, to like every single skill.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, like the undertuned skills, they don't do
what
anything.
am I looking for here?
They don't do anything at all. You're like, you can fight an Act 2 boss for 20
What am I
minutes
looking for
because the
here?
skills are so undertuned. So
I'm
I think there's a
these bad
lot of work
boys.
to be done, and this is like a discussion that I can talk about for hours and not just 1 minute on a podcast.
Well,
Yeah,
do you
same.
think that the skill diversity is better than last
just gonna
patch
put
though?
2 of
Because
these on
I
each.
genuinely do, even though the numbers are worse. I do feel like there's a lot of
Just a little
different
bit more
builds
item
that are
rarity.
super viable this time, and I think that's the numbers are the way they are a lot because people panic. I feel like a lot of people, especially that aren't good at making their own builds, are like, fuck it, Fubgun seems really confident in this Deadeye thing and everyone's saying it's going to be good. Let's just start with Deadeye and then I'll try other stuff later. I think if we had full skill tree, full patch notes a week earlier, I think it'd be wildly different percentages on what's played.
I agree.
I
That's
have
why
another
I chose
complaint about
Lightning
this.
Arrow.
They release information on patch notes, and then they
And then they
start
change
nerfing
it.
things when like you make a
When
build
you
from
theory
it.
craft.
It is the most toxic thing
I lost
for
2
like the
builds,
community
man.
for them to do this.
Yeah.
It is so beyond toxic. Like when you release the information, release it. Like, be like POU1 and just like do it. If there's something like that's like,
Well, they were still
horrible,
working on it
right? You're
this
gonna
time.
one-shot every single boss, and like everything is gonna die in a split second. You're gonna dash through the map at like 5 million movement speed, and it makes the whole game unplayable. I get it, right? But like nerfing like random builds by like 50% damage before a league start is just toxic. That's all I have
Can
to
you
say
be
about that
specific?
subject.
Because I didn't pay attention to that. I didn't notice that.
I got 2 builds
last week-
destroyed before I could even start. Like I was planning on playing like 2 things, and then it's like, oh no, we just removed that, and we just removed that one too. It's like really weird. Like last week as well, Rue had the same experience, right? And another thing as well, like I plan on playing Arc with rods, and it's just like an undocumented change. It's like, oh, it just doesn't interact with rods anymore. Like, oh, like things like that, like they're pretty relevant. And I know it's because of like the wording that all of a sudden it's no longer an orb or whatever the hell, but like the uncertainty creates people gravitating towards one thing that they know is a sure bet, and that creates a stale meta regardless of if there is a big variety, right? As is said. So it's yeah, uncertainty, and then the fact that they just keep nerfing things as you're getting closer to the actual D-Day. It's like really sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go on, Ziggy.
Good.
I can give
Okay.
I can give some examples. Before League started, I wanted to play 3 builds:
No.
Acidic Concoction, Spiral Volley, and Snap, and all 3 of them got nerfed like a day before the game came out, and that's like, I don't know, man. There's
Adding a
like
cooldown to
stars
Snap.
aligning, and there's like stuff like that,
Yeah.
and it's really tilting. Like, but
Yeah,
back
I
on
can
the
see both
subject.
sides. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, back on the subject. I think items are so powerful in PoE2. You can play
Okay,
anything you
okay,
want once you
okay.
get items. Like once you get past the League Star hump, like items are so powerful. You can pick up some random builds, some random skills, and you could just go smash face. I'm gonna be honest. That's how powerful items are in PoE2 because the skills
Oh
are
my
like
God, I did the same
they
thing
have
twice
that
in a
much of a
row.
multiplier on your items, right? So yeah, once you get past the hump, it's just free. It's just go time.
It's true.
Yeah, I mean, I see both sides, right? Because in one way, it's sort of nice to, if there's something, like you said, that's going to be completely game-breaking, get it, like, done before. Like, you don't want a week 1 patch, right? Where your build just gets gutted. That's terrible. But on the other hand, when something's just strong, you're sort of, like, disincentivizing content creators and build creators to be public about their build, and you're encouraging people to hide things, right? Like, I remember there was a guy in my chat called Fox McRave, and he found the Winter Orb interaction with
Awesome.
those. You remember the Shrek guy in PoE1? He drops like the multi-proj gloves, and he had a really, really cool interaction with those. So it was not broken, but it was
Zenith?
very strong for like the budget with like Totem Winter Orb and just shitting out projectiles.
Yeah.
Now, he had been playing that for 2 weeks, and he was like, Sis, I really want to show off this cool interaction.
Yes.
And I was like, wow, this is so cool. And they were 1C, so I even bought several, corrupted them, got a good corruption on them, and then started playing it, and literally 1 day after I started streaming it, the build got nerfed. And like, stuff like that is a little unideal, right? Because you are then incentivizing people. Like he even said, like, I'm never
Twitter.
showing Sis a build again. Like next time I find something powerful, I'm just gonna play it off stream. So it's sort of the same thing, right? You're sort of disincentivizing like people sharing their findings before patch when you are
Yeah.
doing that. So I can see both sides. Yeah, Black seen it.
I'm
though.
finally juicing maps. This
I mean,
feels so
the
good.
devs have to know they
This
can't
feels so
stop
fucking
like us
good.
anyways. Like, what are they gonna do? I'm still playing like 3 days in the league. I'm running through 130 movement speed, destroying the whole screen. Like, you know, like they're not gonna stop me anyways. Like, just put more builds in the game so everyone can have fun, right?
Exactly. The issue as well is that a lot of them weren't really like reactions to, oh, this is broken. Like putting a cooldown on Snap was just straight up like what? Like what do you? And you log in and you play the spells and you just like you're just dealing like 17 times less damage than a monk pressing one button, bro. Like, and like I understand that it is playable. I can get gear and make it decent, but the thing is like I'm playing a different game. Like and if you're doing that, the game is inherently made for people to care about what other people are playing. Otherwise, League Start wouldn't be such an event. That's the whole purpose of League Start and fresh starts, is that you care about starting on equal footing with everybody else. That's the environment that's created by the developers by design. So being like, oh, you don't care about what other people are playing, that's like, well, it's like, yeah, sure, to some extent, but by design, you're sort of like, it's like you're meant to care, right? And so like when you see a monk doing one button and you're pressing 17 to like deal 10 times less, that's demoralizing to say the least, right?
Yeah.
And if we struggle as content creators, imagine fucking people logging in for free weekend, man. Like, and then we're apparently the tourists, right? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's weird. Like, it's like, if we're not doing well, how do you think other people are doing? Like, we have thousands of hours in Path of Exile. We understand the basics, the basic fundamental of Path of Exile 2 by virtue of knowing PoE1, right? Like, we are pretty decent at this game by default in comparison to somebody who comes in fresh. So, like, if we're struggling, other people are struggling. It's just, that's how it works.
See?
Don't use the T word, bro.
I'm
Don't
sorry,
use the T word.
I'll stop.
Alright, let me think about how to put this. So, being a Path of Exile 2 player right now requires you to be able to hold multiple true but conflicting opinions right now when it comes to balance. It is a complicated thing to do, and that makes it a complicated thing to discuss. So, it is miraculous that they can even get any level of balance in at the game with the amount of changes they're putting out. They do not have time or staff to be able to test the amount of content they're putting in each patch and the impacts of these changes. Like, there is no way that there's going to be any sort of balance. I also think it's true that, like, to an extent, it is a folly to focus so much on balance right now with the amount of stuff that's changing. But here's the conflicting opinion part. It's also true that they need to achieve some level of balance, both for, like, people's enjoyment of the game right now and to avoid some of these frustrations, but also just for their testing. How can they even tell if what they're implementing is any good? How can they even tell if the support gem changes are good? Like, unless the balance is to a certain point. It's also true that they shouldn't make changes within a league, but it's also true that they probably need to make changes within a league.
They should.
It's also true that they should release. Well, hold on. They should release the patch notes, and they should be sacrosanct and not changed so that we can make plans. But it's also true that they need to make those changes right then, because that's the only when else would they make the changes? They can't make it in the league. They have to make the changes within that first week. And posting stuff that, like, they're working up until, like, the time it launches, right, and then beyond, for one. But also, I mean, yes, like, the players are able to help them realize that, oh shit, they're planning builds around something we didn't realize would even be a thing. Like, there's interactions that we didn't even consider.
I think it should be very reserved. Mid-league nerf should only be for something like what was the Aura Guardian thing called? Like, stuff like that, right? Where it's completely broken. Anything like, and like do you remember the suicide totems from Crucible? Things like that, I wouldn't mind seeing nerfed, right? If it's like more damage than anything else on a 5C budget, sure, nerf it. Other than that, probably wait till next season to nerf it. What I would like to see more of is mid-season buffs, like skills that are just insanely underperforming. Like, I'm talking like, this is just not viable unless you're literally throwing the kitchen sink of divines at it. Just buff it with 40%, dude. Literally. And just like, just literally up the numbers mid-season. Like, there's something can't be viable.
Is it known and understood right now that GGG wants to be getting, like, passive tree and planning ability out ahead of time? Like, I don't know if that's known and understood. That is their desire.
That's been a ritual for Path of Exile 1, right?
They haven't been able to recently. Yeah, which is a problem. I do think a lot of people's first week issues here are because of that lack of ability to plan. So I do think they need to be making changes up to the last day, but I do think that we need to have more ability to plan. So they need to be making those on live. Like, we need to have access to, like, a live API of this. I don't know how technically difficult something like this would be, but if they were able to make changes as they go and it was much easier for that to filter out to our initial planning, that would help a lot. I think there's so many disparate, separate individual complaints about specific balance things or mechanics or stuff not working, or people discovering late that something didn't work together or whatnot, that made and dominated the conversation for like the first week. And what seems to be happening now is also, as that's settling in, now that people have the ability to plan and build creators are able to create builds, and it's a bit more settled in, a lot of that stuff is not as big an issue now. You know, people are enjoying the content.
For sure.
They're finding the builds that are working. I like they talk about those like true and conflicting statements now. Like, yeah, Deadeye Lightning Arrow is very strong, and maybe like it's the obvious choice. But there's like also so many other really strong things. Like it's definitely way overrepresented. But like balance issue from the perspective of there being like nothing to play except, you know, one specific meta build or two specific build is like way overblown. There's so many things to play right. There's
Anybody
so
that says that is being disingenuous, right? Like, let's be honest, that's so hyperbolic, right?
Yeah,
I think
people didn't have like a safe way to know what.
Exactly, it's just about safety. People don't want to like sacrifice league time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
definitely a big part of it.
I mean, Ziggy, as content creators, we gave people options. They just nerfed them all one day before the league. People were planning to play all of these heroes. They were planning to play Snap. They were planning to play Spiral Volley. They nerfed them one day before the league started.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah, ideally they get the passive tree out and the chain and the skill gem interactions. I especially want like skill gem interactions and stuff like that to be out.
Those things weren't even broken as well. I think it was very
I
like
was
knee-jerk
lagging.
reaction to like.
And out of
I
mana.
genuinely, I don't know, like I don't want to speculate what's going on at GGG, but it just feels like they didn't personally have experience and thought that maybe what we were making was broken, when in reality I feel like we were just making okay builds.
Literally, how could they? Like, how can they do this? Like, that seems like an impossible task to me to like know.
fucking ran out of
there's
mana
going to be a
and I was
massive problem.
lagging.
What's not going to be a problem? Like,
Yeah, they're stuck between a rock and a hard place
They
here.
have to go with their gut. on some of
Yeah.
this.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, right? Like, I don't think very strong builds are a big issue because of the cyclical nature of RPGs.
Yeah.
Like, even something as broken, which I use this as an example a lot, the suicide totems, which were completely broken. The fact that something like that exists for 4 months, really not the end of the world one season. Like, it ends up being a fun memory for people. Like, oh, it was kind of cool. I got to play a really, really powerful build for cheap one season. And it's like, it's not like
Oh shit.
I would say like they are really good in PoE 1, particularly on balancing, where there's usually not anything that cheap, that broken, right?
Yeah, I
That's
think
quite rare to
Delirium
see
reduces
anything
your
that's
mana
literally
regen. I
5C
need to
for
remember that.
100
You
million
need to be
damage.
fucking
So if it comes
chugging
along
potions
every now and
in
again,
that.
I think that's better than changing
we still
things last
got
minute.
3
Like, just let people have some
T15s.
broken stuff for 4 months.
Can I say something? One more thing about balance. I feel like skill balance is like, it's good, but I think GGG should really take the approach they had in PoE 1 and let content balance the skills for you. Because in PoE 1, like, there's so many different content that you can do. That's some you need single target, some you need movement speed, some you need like, you know, like defense, right? And then like you can make all of these different cool builds to like do those content. And then that kind of balances out your game for you because everyone has something to do. Everyone has something to build. In PoE 2, the main content is maps. Like, if you're going to nerf things, don't even nerf single target damage. You need to be nerfing, like, clear power. Because, like, you know, that's all you do in PoE 2. You just run around and you just freaking form maps all day, right? So, I think they have, like, the balance sort of backwards. And they're nerfing, like, single target where they should just be nerfing, like, clear, to be honest.
Yeah, fair point. Though,
Because
My take on the like mid-season nerf thing, when I think something is a problem, I agree. I think like it's very fine for something to have like a really ridiculous play rate within a league. So I think any one build can be like ridiculously overpowered right now, and it's not an issue. Post-launch, that will change, I think, because then we start talking about like the fine-tuning of like, okay, this is affecting too much. Like, too many people are playing this, and they feel like they shouldn't play anything else because they feel like idiots for playing other things. That's a problem for later, I think. Right now, I think where the line should be drawn is when something is affecting many builds. So if there is something that it warps lots and lots of builds, like every build feels like they need to take this or do this. So I think like that energy shield's a good example right now. Like it affects too many builds. Like too many like warriors and evasion characters and stuff are being like, well, I should go evasion ES. Like it would be stupid to do anything else. Or yes, I should make my warrior an ES warrior. Like it's the only same thing to do. It's affecting too many builds. So that's the stuff where like I think they should consider MIG League changes, because that in my mind ruins their test results more than just like a specific build being strong. And like chasing specific builds right now seems just like a fool's errand, because like there's going to be so many, and whatever thing you nerf or change or whatever, there's going to be like 500 other ones to take their place. But the
Some things are
broad
crazy
stuff
though. Some things are out of
seems like more
control.
important. Yeah.
Some things really are. Like there's some blood mage running around right now with like 9k life and 7k regen. It's like, oh, with infinite damage. It's like, oh, all right.
Wow.
I guess playing anything but that sucks. Which, like, I think that's the outlier where it would sort of be like, that needs to be looked at. Like, maybe. But I think the ES problem is like prevalent, but it just more shines a light on what isn't strong enough rather than what is too strong, in my opinion. Because defenses in this game are like, we're at infant stages where there's still so much stuff to come, and we don't know how much defenses are going to scale from now on. So like if they were to like add more and difficult content, like
Finally, I hit
then
level
that
90.
means that our tools are still going to be the same as we have them now, to some extent, outside of
wait, was that
potentially
88?
like some broken uniques. But broken uniques are always like an endgame thing
No,
that
90.
is not
Beautiful.
relevant to the base power.
Okay.
But at the moment, the base power is, there's just too much disparity between, you know, the base power of somebody who logs in north side of the tree or right side of the tree to someone who logs in on left side of the tree. So that in itself is like balance needs to be looked at without items as in context, so that they can get like the axe feeling good, and then there needs to be more balance applied to items, but that sort of needs to be treated in a way, kind of like two individual ways to look at balancing, because sure, end game is important, but like early game is ever so more important now, especially with how difficult it is to get through the campaign for most people, right? Like for us, I suppose it's easier, but most people will take like 40 hours plus, like even more, no? So
You're getting
if
a
that
patch in
part,
30 minutes.
nice. Actually, they nerfed my
I'll
build
read
in
it
30
and
minutes.
Oh, my
so
build's about to be fixed. My build's about to be fixed.
They're
I'm so
about
happy.
to nerf my build, so I'm really excited.
Oh,
as well.
I'm so happy.
pet.
Yep, yep.
Oh, my pet's going away. But dude, I've been waiting for this patch for so long. My main complaint, I know I complain a lot and people are like gonna be like, oh, Riz bitching too much, but like GGG has the deflect formula, right? It's not like we have it, they have it. They can just enter the number and they could be like, oh, at 80,000 evasion, they have 78% or 88% chance to deflect for 40% damage. Is that good? And they could just look at the number and be like, no, that's kind of ass. Like, no one's going to do this, right? Like,
Yeah.
why would anyone invest their whole entire character for less than 40% damage reduction? Like, it's just like, why release it like that? Because
Yeah.
it's so simple, I think, in my opinion.
I kind of agree with that too. It's like a bit sort of rude to say it, but it's like, man, especially when you say like you can overcap it, it's good, but then you get in game and it's like, what? It's not good. We can't overcap it.
no.
What's going on?
I actually have a question, and I don't know if this is just like me as a hardcore player, but I personally have always felt like DDD over police defense in a bit of a weird way, in my opinion, because they're very like, if there's ever an immortal build, I'm talking literally immortal, or even like extremely tanky, where you can face tank every ability in the game, they're often very, very quick to fix or nerf that. There's been like 2 or 3 literal immortal builds. They're very, very fixed to nerf that. Whereas you can actually quite easily, especially in PoE1, quite easily get to the point where you have literally billions of damage, which effectively gives you immortality, right? Like if you go into a boss fight and you snap it and it's dead, you're effectively immortal. And I've always been a little bit like surprised at like, I don't know. I feel like they almost over police defense sometimes.
Fair point. I felt the same actually. I've observed the same, especially in PoE1. Anytime there's anything that's like remotely too strong tanky wise, it's just gone. within a few leagues.
Yeah, like specifically, I remember the first time I made a build that was immortal to the Minotaur, and I had like the like increased fist damage while standing still. I had a brass dome. I had like 300k armor, and it was just loads and loads. And I actually like was not in danger of the Minotaur. I could go AFK there, and I thought that was really cool. And I remember somebody asked, like, can you die here? And I was like, no, I'm using all these mechanics, and I listed everything, and I was really excited about it. And I was like, I've specifically created this character to face tank the Minotaur. I can't die. And I thought that was so much cooler, and I think it's cooler for a new player to see, because you at least get to see all the mechanics, and you get to see the fight. Whereas I think that's so much cooler than I remember watching Jung Run farm Eater Worlds on Hardcore once with Incinerate Mines or something, and he was just going in, Eater spawns, snap, dead. And I'm like, I didn't even get to see the boss. Like, out of those two options, like those two extremes, I have always been a little surprised that they, like, in my opinion, over-police tank. And obviously I'm biased here as a hardcore player. But I was saying this very early, and while I do love Act 4, people were like, what should we do? Like, should we like over-level and tank up really quick? And I was like, no, absolutely. The solution to Act 4 is get tons of damage. Like, I didn't really build any defense for Act 4 at all. I just went as much into damage as I could. And Act 4 was really easy, right? I don't necessarily think that should be. I would rather they were a little bit less strict on defense.
Buff deflection right now. It is bad.
In this patch in 20 minutes.
Well, just cut all the numbers in half. We need buffs right now. Like, I'm looking at the game, right? Because I love making builds, and I have, like, a lot of viewers who show me their builds. You have literally, like, pretty much borderline immortal builds in the game right now. Blood Mage, 20,000 energy shield builds. Those guys, they're not dying to anything, right? And they're, like, being stingy on on deflect. And it's just like, even if I cap this, I'm still gonna die, right? And I don't know what the point of all of this is, I'm gonna be honest. So, yeah.
I'm glad you came to the same conclusion. I thought maybe I was like too like hard on deflection, but the whole league I've been telling everybody how dog shit it is, and I'm actually I feel kind of validated, bro.
Yeah.
Like, honestly.
No, I think it's an important thing to talk about. I think the next topic
Bro,
might be a little too positive. I'm just kidding, but crafting. Crafting is being
Yo, that's a dub.
so
Massive
good
dub.
this patch. Like, just holy fuck. For me, the game is fixed. Like last patch, I was not personally having a lot of fun. This patch, I'm just like, there's so many things that can happen. There's so many things that can happen in maps. Like, even that's so much stuff. I love it. Ziggy, like, what's your thoughts on crafting? How do you feel?
Okay, so I'll get the negative out of the way first. I think they need to do a fair bit more in the campaign leveling experience to get more people starting to craft. Like, they've done some really good first steps here, but there's definitely more that needs to be done with that. Especially, I think there could be a lot more essences, and essences should be a lot broader in the campaign. The specificity of essences is part of why they're so good at endgame, the fact that they're really specific in what they give you. But there should be, like, just gives you a resistance essences, like on any piece of gear or something, for example. In the campaign, they're a bit too specific for where they are right now, and a bit too rare. So that's the negative out of the way. So on to the positive. Holy shit, this is Crafting League. Like, they were all kind of announced there, but it hasn't really sunk in until, like, I got to endgame. I started, like, kind of just realizing just what you can actually do and what you can do easily. This might be... there's a bloat problem for sure, but like, just the sheer amount of clickables that we have is insane, and it's only going to get worse. But this is very deterministic, very powerful, very fun crafting. I am very much looking forward to exploring this. So, a quick picture overview for you, maybe you haven't looked into it too much. It is very nice to jump on the currency exchange and look at the essences and what they do, and look at the omens and what they do. But the combination of essences, the new greater currencies, omens, and abyss, all come together in a very beautiful way. So here's some examples. So essences do two things now. They either regal, a guaranteed specific stat. Obviously that's just very powerful in itself, but there's not like too many crazy things that you do directly with that. But perfect essences, remove a stat and add a specific stat. Now, the nature of that is very interesting because if you have a 6 property item and the essence is, say, an essence of battle, which guarantees you get plus 6 gem levels on a 2-handed weapon. Crazy.
I love that
That is
one.
a suffix, right? So if you have a 6 property weapon, let's say you have a crossbow, you've got like triple physical damage prefixes, and you've got garbage suffixes. You've got nothing on there. You use that essence, it is guaranteed to remove a suffix, because that is the only thing it can remove, because it needs a space to put that plus 6 gems onto the weapon.
Oh shit.
So you have a guaranteed risk-free ability to remove, add specific modifiers here. This is kind of getting back to remove, add, and harvest crafting, but I think in a more tangible way. And it gets crazier from here. So the greater currencies, what they do effectively is like taper off the bottom end of the crafting pool. So like all the lower level modifiers aren't available when you use a greater currency effectively. This is really interesting for some items in particular, like jewelry, for example. They cap out their modifiers really early, so you get like item level 60 jewelry, you have access to like the top tier modifiers in some cases, or pretty close to, right? Like you're getting really good jewelry at that point. So you use like a great assurance mute, great augment or something on jewelry, and you're effectively getting like tier 1 modifiers or close to in many cases. Yeah. So that is amazing by itself. Then you've got the combination of, so omens have these things called this sinistral or dextral that allows you to target prefixes or suffixes. There is an abyss version of that allows you to specifically remove, add a suffix or prefix that will then become a desecrated affix, which allows you to choose one of 3 modifiers. In many cases, you have a pretty good chance of getting what you want from that. There's also another omen that allows you to do that twice. So you get to choose from one of 3, and if you don't like those first 3 options, you re-roll again. So 1 in 6 is a pretty good chance of getting the specific suffix or prefix that you want using that combination there. What else have we got? We've got Omen of Light, which is removing only desecrated modifiers, for example. Desecrated themselves give you many, many good ways of going about building things since they're allowed to remove add. We've got a lot of the targeted removal and targeted addition, and it goes deeper than this too, with the fact that you can know a lot from mod tags about what's possible to happen on an item. So to the point that we're basically getting like prefixes can't be changed, suffixes can't be changed, style crafting, but even mod blocking style crafting, which is quite interesting. So there's like these called homogenization. Yeah, so there's homogenization ones, in particular the exaltation ones. And what these do is they look at the affixes on an item and say you can only get another affix of types that already exist on the item. So let's say you have something that has an open suffix and you're going to use an exaltation on it, and the other 2 affixes are resistances, elemental resistances. You know that you can only get elemental or resistance because those are the tags. So that means you can only get either resistance or armor applies to elemental damage. So you're crafting your armor chest piece and you can guarantee that, like one of those 2 options. So really
Pretty nice.
insane. Anyway, that's an overview.
Yeah, no, it is
Yeah.
actually insane. I think that's a good thing to mention because there are a lot of people that didn't know how good crafting is.
Yeah, I wanted to just kind of cover the picture of how it kind of works together, but like the very simple thing is, and the very accessible crafting is that you're going to look for like a blue item with 1 or 2 affixes that's really good that you want. You'll use a greater augmentation, a specific essence to add a certain modifier that you want. Then you will maybe do like a greater exalt, or just an exalt to fill. You'll abyss craft something missing. Or you'll use these kind of like targeted ones, so like, okay, now I've got my really good prefixes because that was basically guaranteed to get there.
Right,
now I'm going to
good.
do like a targeted remove out of the suffix, and you can stack essences together. It's crazy because we couldn't do that before. Like that's never been a thing, right? But now you can.
That's
so that
very nice.
example of adding +6 to a 2-hander, you can do that, and then you can do the same thing again with attack speed until you get those 2 things together. Then you've got attack speed +6, and you already had your good 3 prefixes. So
Yeah,
people are
it's
gonna be
very
making lots
deterministic
of really good
crafting.
items. And it's accessible at low end too, I think. I just don't know,
Yeah.
is it too confusing? Is it a bit too many items? I don't know.
Nah.
We'll have to see how that plays out over time.
The more the
stuff.
better.
Yeah.
Give
Yeah.
me more. Give
mean,
me
it's
more.
It's how they send their kids to college, right? That's how they sell their stash
Well-
tabs. I'm sure, give me another stash tab.
Well, it's
More
also how
items.
we have jobs, you know? So, you know.
Well, so I think that the crafting this season is what really makes the whole like all classes buff thing true, right? Like we have way more power creep this patch. Like it's actually quite
Yeah.
crazy. So like Tuna said or Ruby said, like definitely like when you have items, like every build can be quite strong in this patch.
Yeah, for sure. I really like how they stick into their guns with not giving scours and shit, because sorry to cut you off there, but like as much as like I have grown to love alts and shit, like it's nice to not sit in your hideout and spam alts and to just kind of like find items out in the wild and then build upon them. I think like that was always something that I wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt, and this patch just kind of showed me that they can do it if they just add more stuff. So I'm pretty happy that they're going down this route, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they do in the future. There will be too many items, as Ziggy said. They might have to like maybe like homogenize, or you know.
The cool thing about this that I would like to point out here is that well, if they're smart about it, they can add items, remove items, change the rarity. You know, like maybe next league there's a new crafting mechanic and they scale this mechanic back a lot. You know what I mean? They can do that type of stuff.